Hey folks, I am Michael J. Penny. Welcome to the 5-Paragraph Business Plan tutorials. By now, you've looked through the materials and have got the book sitting in front of you. You've seen how the 5-Paragraph Business Plan is action-oriented, breaking big, huge plans down into bite-sized objectives. During this tutorial, we're going to talk about the fragmentary order, and specifically the fragmentary order as an operational leadership tool, but also for key leaders and individuals to use within your business. This is for the actual employees, the operators who are performing the daily tasks that are associated with your business, conducting the overall business operations, okay? Fragmentary orders, pronounced FRAG-O. We just call them FRAG-Os. FRAG-Os are essentially miniature 5-paragraph business plans. In a nutshell, that's essentially what it is. Okay, so it does not have the same amount of detail as an operational leader's 5-paragraph business plan. It is only task or objective specific. That's it. FRAG-Os are used typically with actionable timelines. So if you've been pulled off of another priority task and said, hey, you've got to do this first, you've got to accomplish this in order to complete the overall objective, kick a FRAG-O, get into it. And again, fragmentary orders are being pulled out of the operational leader's plan. And typically, key leaders such as team leaders would put these fragmentary orders into effect. Let's say, for instance, you're going to an event. Let's say you're picking something up. Let's say you've been put out in the field for some reason. You're going anywhere. A FRAG-O is the easiest way to just snap, do a plan real quick, and then get the job done. All right, so it's a fragmentary order that is based on the overall structure of the 5-paragraph business plan, and they are highly effective. We use them in the military. They are pulled directly out of our 5-paragraph order system. I'm carrying the same terminology over from the military into the business world, and I'm plugging in those different business elements that I've gotten from multiple resources. You can find them in the bibliography of the guidebook, but also one of my favorite resources is the Institute of Veterans and Military Families, Nuts and Bolts of a Great Business Plans. And I plugged in a lot of those details as far as the structure wise, and that helped in completing the overall 5-paragraph business plan. But then I threw in a number of different resources and different things so that you've got a wide berth of knowledge that is sitting in front of you. And again, it goes from overall 30,000 foot, funnels all the way down into the individual. And that is what we're talking about right now. The individual guy or gal who is outside of the building, who is working on an objective or task. So if you're following along, I want you to check out the 5-paragraph fragmentary order. It starts with the operational leader. So who is your overall, where are you pulling that commander's intent from? Who tasked you on this mission? And who is the coordinator? It might be two different people. If the operational leader is the one that's associated with your division, your whatever that you plug into within the executive leader's plan. So in another scenario, in the last scenario, the operational leader scenario, we were doing the R&D department, right? Research and development. So who is the operational leader there that I was just talking to, who is in the overall operational 5-paragraph business plan creator? They get plugged in there. The coordinator is the coordinator of the event. It is somebody who is outside. It might not be somebody. It might be the same person. So the operational leader told me to go and do this. We've been tasked to go and do this, whatever the case may be. The date, the team or section that you're in, task organization, that is the breakdown of the task in structure based upon the organization of your team elements. Okay, so task organization, simply put, is here is our type of team. We're an R&D team, and we have these different types of elements within us. It is not your capabilities. And if you're following along in the book, you'll see exactly what I mean, because task organization is, what are we doing? Where are we going? It's based upon the expertise that I'm about to lay out for you. Then it goes team leader, team members, capabilities and limitations of that team, the overall objective, and the task itself, all right, as it's structured out. So coordinator might be a person, task organization might be an event, semicolon trade show, let's say, for instance, team leader, team members, and then capabilities and limitations for that specific event. And the overall objective and task might be to demonstrate your materials and promotion items. Then you actually go through the fragmentary order as situation, mission, execution. You jump to support plan, command, and signal. The admin and logistics were already given to you. That's part of the overall plan. It was carried across into the operational plan. So again, I'm just going to go through these different elements. I know that those of you with templates, you don't have this stuff. I get it. We've put FRAG-Os into our templates. What I need you to do is follow along throughout the other episodes, but follow along throughout the guidebook. I would encourage you to go out and get the guidebook. I would also encourage you to get on the phone for a minimum 15-minute call with one of our advisors so that we can walk through a starting point with you. And then you're going to get a guidebook, a workbook, which will have this material inside of it. So getting back into the actual body of the FRAG-O: situation, mission, execution, support plan, command, and signal. Situation is the problem to solve. It's not just the objective or task. It's within that. So, successful trade show. Let's say, and keep in mind that a fragmentary order is typically used over an actionable timeline. So that's what I always want you to associate this with. It's typically used on the fly. If you have the ability to do a breakdown on what the plan is, then you use it. So the reason why I framed it up like this is you have this orientation summary at the beginning of a fragmentary order. So this is your operational leader, your coordinator, the date, the team and section, task organization, team leader, team members, capabilities, limitations. And then the objective and task is associated with the fragmentary order that's below it. Only certain elements of this are going to change as far as the overall orientation, but that top portion of the fragmentary order is specific to wherever you are at that place, time, whatever you're doing. Underneath of it is the elements of the fragmentary order as far as accomplishing an overall objective. So actually executing whatever that immediate mission is. And that is the situation as far as a problem to solve, the friendlies that are in the area who can help you. And I put it simply like the friendlies, because they might be adjacent units, they might be other employees, they might be other whole companies, sections, whatever. So who is friendly to you, who can help you out? Because this is more often than not, this is kind of used as like a survival planning measure within business as well. Under mission, it's your task, who will accomplish it, what needs to be done, where it needs to be done, so on and so forth. It's the 5 W's, but if you can accomplish X, that is the Y that is associated with it. More often than not, the Y for a mission is in the situation. Like, why would we solve that problem? Well, it's a problem. I just outlined it. The execution is your higher commander's intent, which matters. So you can plug that into a fragmentary order anyhow. That's part of the operational leader's overall intent. That might be specific for your event. So let's say, for instance, you're part of the R&D team, you're at a trade show, so you've plugged in all of that information to the top of your fragmentary order, and you can use this right here as a template for kicking fragmentary orders so that you can just quick jot it down, and now you have a plan to go through. That's the whole point. It's hip pocket in a sense, and that's the point of a FRAG-O. As you go through the execution paragraph, you've got commander's intent. And again, that's accomplishing the mission ethically, completing the mission overall, adding value, so on. You have the potential method for how you're going to accomplish this task, this problem that's sitting in front of you right now. The coordinating instructions to your leaders as far as, hey, I identified that problem. I'm telling you that I'm going to do this. See how there's a difference there? I might ask for forgiveness later. I am not begging for permission right now. I identified that problem. I'm doing something about it. I've coordinated with this other element, telling them that I'm doing something about it. Saw a problem that was out there. And then you have a desired end goal. Basically, what is life like with that solution? Your desired end goal could just be, hey, we're going to save this product line. Hey, we're going to lessen shrink. Hey, we're going to accomplish the mission overall during this trade show, and we're going to crush it. It could be elements within that overall setup of the trade show. Each one of those elements, let's say that you're putting together like scaffolding work or some sort of pipe and drape. You've got padded carpet and the table setups with the chairs and an interactive demonstration that's out there, and your banners are up. Maybe you do a step and repeat banner over here with a little red carpet action. You've got a videographer and an audio guy. Well, that's all within the operational plan. Each one of those different elements need to be able to do a baseline fragmentary order. Or if something goes awry in the middle of that huge complex setup that you're about to do, you need to be able to just go, bam, all right, now we're on an actionable timeline. We're going to use a fragmentary order. The problem is this, the mission is this, the execution is this, and you just bang it out. You just quick. Who can support that? Okay, there's this other team that's over here. Go see if they have the duct tape, right? That's part of your support plan, essentially. I want you to think of this as like on the fly, because when you learn these different elements, you're going to be able to employ it better as an operational leader, right? That is the understanding here. And then lastly, the command and signal. So that's just the coordination. That could be the event coordinator. That could be the overall coordination for who you would need to get in touch with in case of emergency, so on and so forth. I would say kick a fragmentary order if you're going to go to an event. Do a fragmentary order if you have some sort of that day objective or something like that. So you would put together an overall fragmentary order similar to an operational 5-paragraph business plan. And yes, it would be detailed. But then you can break it down even further to where on the fly, based upon this fragmentary order that you have constructed, on the fly, you're going to be able to pull elements right out of this and go, oh, dang, if I had a problem, who was I supposed to go to? Oh, yeah, that's our support plan. You know, what happens if, I mean, it's weird and I hate thinking about it like this, but what if you just had something happen? A pipe burst, a bomb blew up, there was an active shooter, there was a fire, there was some sort of earthquake, an electrical storm caused something to happen, power outage. What happens if you get split up in the middle of this massive trade show? Where are you going to go? How are you going to reconnect? How will you reconvene? How will higher headquarters know whether or not you're still alive? Let's say, for instance, you're operating a brick and mortar franchise, so you're way out in the middle of nowhere, and you get word that, I don't know, vaccinations have gone bad, and if you keep your pharmacy open, people are going to die. So you decide to, on the fly, close your pharmacy, shut everything else down, plant marketing out front that says, we're open, pharmacy is closed, let's keep customers coming in the door. What are we going to do about it? Okay, so I just gave you a couple of different scenarios where it's like, bam, something happens, right? Well, you can plan ahead. You can mitigate a lot of the associated frustrations that come with uncontrollable factors, such as a power outage, or something along those lines. That's one way. And you can be reactive with the fragmentary order. Right? So that's the other thing that I'm saying is In the pharmacy scenario, you can be reactive. You can say, hey, we're going to do this based upon this problem. Here's the mission. We're going to execute it. Our coordinating instructions include contacting our headquarters so that they know what the situation is here. And then, if need be, we can exercise the support plan, which was coordinated prior. And here's the command and signal. So here's in charge of all of the adjacent stores that are out there, and here's how you contact everybody. So I want you to think about this from front to back. I want you to think about it as executive, operational, key leader, and the individual who is there manning the till. The individual who is standing at the cash register going badoop, badoop. They're all in this. The entire thing. And you'll see in the diagram, in our flow chart that we've gotten there, how these elements of the 5-paragraph executive leadership, 5-paragraph business plan is the overall 30,000-foot big block objectives, okay? You've written that. You've gone all the way through your executive summary. You've put it all together. The management team that is inside of that 5-paragraph business plan now creates operational 5-paragraph business plans drawing upon elements of your executive leadership 5-paragraph business plan. They probably helped you create the executive leader 5-paragraph business plan. And then you draw upon those elements, right, as the operational leader, and then you flesh out what your teams will look like. Well, now you're an operational leader and you're saying, this is my mission. You delegated me this authority. You're saying that this is my mission and I care very deeply. So I will be responsible of the overall actions of these team members. And then potentially you plug in your team members and who you would like to lead your teams. And then the team leaders, based upon your operational plan, see the different elements and the different tasks and the different objectives that need to be accomplished. And then they can create fragmentary orders based upon the different events that fall within the timeline. So now you're executing these fragmentary orders. And something goes awry, something goes entirely haywire. You can rely upon elements of this fragmentary order based upon the situation that you're in at that current time and place, and then you can kick your own fragmentary order for wherever you're at, based upon a situation, mission, execution, support plan, and command and signal, all the way down to the individual. That's the point. That's the simplicity of the 5-paragraph business plan. It's all the same, all the way down. It's drawing upon elements of the 5-paragraph business plan from the executive leader all the way down to the individual. Now, all the way back up, you have executed, you have done something. Whatever happens, you need to debrief it. You need to debrief it. You need to share your lessons learned that are associated with this. There needs to be some sort of after-action review. You put that together as a company, an after-action review, a debrief process. The debrief process goes from start to finish. It's almost so simple and yet so complex, it is ridiculous. It's based upon a timeline, and you literally go from the time that you started until when you wrap it up and you're sitting there, wherever you are. Everybody who is involved, everyone is in one room debriefing on whatever the actions are based upon that event. Might be a trade show, might be whatever. Could be you go to the trade show, you all link up in somebody's room right afterwards, luggage, the whole 9 yards, and you debrief the overall. You are not debriefing when you get back to the office, okay? You are debriefing that day when the trade show wraps up. You are debriefing immediately after the event, whatever the event is. Right when it's done, you are debriefing. If you can debrief before somebody goes to the hospital, do it. No, I'm just kidding. But you need to debrief immediately following whatever the events are. And I'll tell you why. Because every individual who is involved, it will be fresh in their mind. All of those details go into an after-action review. That after-action review then gets passed all the way up. Or all the way to the front, however you want to look at it. But the operational leader and the executive leadership overall definitely see eyes on that after action review, and it empowers the individual who's out in the field. They have a voice in change. Based upon what actually happens, something can change at the executive level. Isn't that a beautiful thing? You have a simple template and methodology. You're debriefing based upon these actions. You go through the timeline and you literally tell them exactly how you saw it during that element. There's really no template for debriefing, at least not in here, because it is specific to the event that takes place. The after action review, that is something that is specific to the event. That is something that you are boiling down the lessons learned that is associated with that based upon your own business type. By gaining intelligence at the lowest level and pushing intelligence, I have it in the diagram, top to bottom, forward to back, in to out, however you want to look at it, you're pushing intelligence in between executive leaders and individuals on the ground. Individuals who are operating under the company, that they're going to appreciate that. Let me tell you what, as an employee staying on the exact same sheet of music and the exact same page, you're not necessarily always going to get the 30,000 foot perspective. I get that. Executive leaders are seeing all of the operational leaders' plans. You, the employee, you're not seeing all of the operational leaders' plans. You're seeing elements of the executive leader's plan in your operational leader's plan, and then you're getting brief fragmentary orders to go out and conduct your mission. And the other people who are working under other operational leaders and what have you, this diffuses that silo effect. Everybody is using the same template and talking about the different actions within, and then now you remove silos. At least that's the theory. At least that's what we did in the military. We've been doing it for 240 years. What the hell would we know? Right? How could we possibly plan and execute global missions? Huh? Right? This is how it's done, folks. You asked us for leadership traits and characteristics. Sure, that'll get you through boot camp. This is how you win wars. Apply it to your business. This is an action-oriented business planning methodology. Hello. It is a business management tool that you can use at every level, all the way down to the individual, all the way up to the executive level. That's the whole point. That's how generals disseminate information and intelligence all the way down, and thus vice versa, in order to change our overall battle plan. I love it. That is the simplicity. Look, get the guidebook, get it in front of you, flip through the pages, get through the flow chart. See exactly what I'm talking about here as far as how the overall executive leader, operational leader, key leader, debrief, after action review, bam. It creates a cycle effect in how you, the individual operator who's out in the field, have the ability to truly affect change that is within the overall organization. You, the entrepreneur, when you're setting up your business, if you keep this in mind, can you imagine the power that you are immediately giving your employees? You're immediately empowering people to go out and make positive, effective change, being able to go out and add value immediately. That is the power of the 5-paragraph business plan. It's simple yet effective. Follow us at 5paragraph.com. Get involved in the forum at 5paragraph.com/forum. Be a part of the overall community. Listen through all of the episode tutorials from start to finish. They're always going to be up there. Download the templates. They're all the way down at the bottom of 5paragraph.com. Keep scrolling all the way. You'll always have the templates. They're always free. If you're looking at 5paragraph.com, you've got our episodes on there. You're seeing the 15-minute phone call stuff. What I mean by this is give us 15 minutes of your time. Okay? Call us up. Give us a chance. Give us 15 minutes to get you started today. You're going to get a free workbook out of it. If you've already got the guidebook in front of you, awesome. Yes. Welcome. Join the forum. Listen in. Do whatever. Thank you. If you want to schedule a 15-minute phone call, of course. Yes, that's going to happen. We love those phone calls. You've got the guidebook in front of you. You're not going to need the workbook, frankly. You've got the guidebook in front of you. We're going to get on the phone. We're going to give you a starting point. you are going to be able to change your life. You're going to be able to get started today with a 5-paragraph business plan. Empower yourself, empower your dreams, add value to the world with a 5-paragraph business plan. Keep listening.